everybody. Welcome back to the ViewPoint. Oh my goodness, where we talk about kingdom culture and conversation. And I am your host, AP Rich. And if you can't tell right now, I'm a little excited because I have a special guest and I can't wait for you guys to hear from this woman. Oh my goodness, she is the founder, one of the creators of the Black and Bronze Fest, and is an amazing and incredible force in the music industry even today. And let me tell y'all something. In the world that we live in the world that we're facing on today, a lot of challenges that's going on. This woman's story, this woman's journey stands the testament of resilience. It also stands the testament of what creativity really means. What does it mean to be creative? And the power of cultural connection. Oh my goodness. So whether you tune in from your living room, a coffee break, a coffee room, wherever you at, you want to pay attention right now, because there's going to be something that's going to be said that's going to leave a mark that cannot be erased. Listen, y'all welcome to the stage. Y'all welcome to the ViewPoint family, the one and only Miss Jessica Laurel.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my
Truly
goodness, we
appreciate it.
are so excited to have you for real. Like I was telling her, like I'm excited for real. Like this is an amazing thing to be able to sit with this woman. I know I just met you a couple months ago,
But that's all right.
but I got a chance to just listen to you and see you in action. I know a lot of times we like to talk real good, like
Yeah.
we're talking today,
Yeah.
but to actually see you in action, putting your action behind the words that you speak and you live by, that is phenomenal. So I wanted to say kudos again and thank you for being here on today.
Thank
Yes,
you.
indeed. Listen, I'm going to get right into it, Jessica, because, again, like I said, I'm excited. And how we got a chance to know and meet one another, you were is it a founding member?
The
You
founder.
founded- Okay, founder of the Black and Bronze Fest. Please share with us, what does that mean to even start that? Why did you even start it? How did you come up with the concept, everything like that? Let us know, let us
Absolutely.
know.
Absolutely. So for those who don't know, Black and Bronze, a Bronzeville Music Fest, is a festival that celebrates the past, present, and future of Bronzeville. And in many ways celebrates Black Chicago, the South Side, a legacy of creativity, of justice, of organizing, of innovation that has come out of Chicago. And so we've had everything from a main stage with live music tributes and jazz, gospel, hip hop, and soul, dance performances, everything from an Alvin Ailey tribute to a footwork dance competition. We've had performances from majorette and drum lines from local schools. There are health and wellness activations, a kids zone where we're engaging young folks around the history of the neighborhood and where they come from in a way that speaks to them, that's age appropriate. Engaging folks of all ages. There's an archival walkway where people can experience the history, almost like a museum outdoors.
Yeah.
And so for me, this was really birthed out of, one, I think a connection with my own childhood. So I have these fond memories of my mother driving me across the South Side, telling me fun facts. And I mean, she was a historian, she was a teacher, so that was just in her, But I had such tremendous pride for coming from the South Side. And I remember that narrative started to change for me at the age of 11. So.
Okay.
I went to boarding school. Nobody else in my family did. And usually anytime I'm outside of Chicago, people are like, "You're from Chicago? What school did you go to?" And that's immediately when things get tricky because I went to boarding school. And it was a predominantly white institution. And so I was surrounded by people who had their own narrative about what the South Side is or was. And I started to feel like this place that I was so proud to be a part of was a place to be feared and avoided at all costs. And it took me several years, a lot of different experiences. I ended up going to Stanford for my undergraduate degree. And I majored in African-American studies, and I picked up the book by St. Clair Drake, Black Metropolis. And so he's documenting our history down to the neighborhood. And I remember this feeling of like, how could this vibrant history that I'm a part of be viewed in such a negative way? How could so many people not be aware of the incredible pioneers that come from where I'm from? And so I think part of the power of having a degree like that is that you're getting armed with language and a lens for how to view the world. And I think it also helped me to think about the political state that we're in today, right? If we're honest about it, we're in a time of erasure, right? Our museums are under attack. Our archives are under attack when it comes to celebrating Black culture and Black history. Those integral places are starting to disappear. Even just thinking about neighborhoods, I think I saw something that was saying in the last 2 to 3 decades, over 500 Black neighborhoods have disappeared.
Over 500 Black neighborhoods.
500. And so you start thinking about what is there's a power in not just retaining our neighborhoods, but there's also a power in retaining our stories, right? And when we start to think about what are the spaces and places that are doing that, if those places are under attack, how can we create something that stands in alignment with the traditions that we've held for so long, right? Because I think when I think of the culture that I come from, that we're a part of, we weren't waiting for the museums or the archives. We were going to braid it in our hair or sew it in our clothes or write it in our songs or find other ways to celebrate that history. Absolutely. And so I think that is the spirit behind Black and Bronze. It's not just a festival where people can have an entertaining experience. It's a chance for people to celebrate our history, to learn our history at every age range, for our elders to share their stories, for the young folks to get it in a new way, to see themselves in it, right? And so just thinking about different opportunities to create a new, fresh take on celebrating our history.
That's good. I love that. Here at ViewPoint, we always talking about giving fresh looks, right, on anything. So when we talk about to our Christian community, getting a fresh look at Jesus, what does that look like to get a fresh look at him?
Absolutely.
One thing I enjoyed about you, again, I enjoyed you singing, right? That was the first time I got a chance to experience you performing. Great performance, great job, amazing. Here's another thing I love about it. You're not just a singer. Right? You're not just someone that's coming to perform, but you're looking to immediately make some type of impact in some kind of way. What helped you to even do that, to go beyond just being not just your normal singer? I manage singers all the time. I manage artists. But to be around you and see you, like I said, you're all about action. I see that on you. So what really, compelled you to do that? Let me make sure I'm not just seen as a vocalist, because there's a lot of great singers in our community, in our culture.
Right.
But what made you say, I got to do something beyond that? Let me take the extra step.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a legacy that you'll hear me come back to my mother all the time.
Okay.
But she's a huge driving force. She taught me from the beginning that art was never for art's sake. It's not just creating. You are a culture maker, a culture shifter. And that was in the small and big ways, and so I think I always was consuming. I grew up in a household where we were only listening to gospel, contemporary Christian music, and what was on vinyl.
That's it.
That was it. So I miss all the radio, but I think what it did was it exposed me to all of these artists who took it upon themselves to really think about what is the value behind what I'm sharing. Whether it's sharing God's heart in the world through directly talking about the love of Jesus, or whether it's sharing God's heart in the world through an advocacy for justice, right? Thinking about the Stevie Wonders of the world or the Nina Simones of the world. She was very adamant in showing me and exposing me to musicians and artists who really considered their artistry an opportunity. They're thinking about influence.
So you're using your voice more than just a song.
Yes.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Love it. I love that.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. You can continue now. You seem like you had a little more to say right there. I didn't want to cut you off. I
guess the other thing I would say is anytime I'm sitting down, whether it's to write a song or think about curating a performance, I'm asking myself, one, what is it that the audience wants? But also, what is it that the audience needs? And how can I be a steward in getting them there? And so sometimes, because I do perform in spaces that are not always the church, I am thinking about how can I bring an experience that makes people draw near to within themselves, but draw near to God. How can I do that without necessarily always going, Jesus, right? And I think I've heard people say, I feel like I went to church in this experience, and I didn't know I was signing up for that. And I'm like, God gotcha. But you know, sometimes that might be, I might lead people through some sort of like moment of introspection.
Yeah.
You know, I had an album release earlier this year, and at the album release, I was thinking about what songs to sing. Yeah. And there's a song off of my album called Grow. And the major tagline is, no one tells you what it takes to grow. Right. So when we get to that song and I decided to perform it live, one of the things I decided to do was we're just going to create a moment for people. You could call it a meditation, but ultimately a moment for people to ask themselves, what is it that you feel like might be holding you back in this moment?
And that's important because so many times people are telling you a lot of times what's holding you back, or in our church community, they're prophesying to you what's holding you back. And it's like, sad, doesn't do with me.
Or we wait for the prophetic word.
Okay.
Instead of relying on our relationship with God to guide us.
That's good.
Right? I know that growing up in a space where the prophetic was in abundance, it kind of got to a point where we're relying on the next prophet to come in the house and give us the thing that we need. And instead of going, let me sharpen my walk with God. Let me make sure I'm tapped in and I know what God's telling me. So I'm not relying on somebody else to give that to me.
On, Jessica.
Right? If I'm communing with God daily, if I'm sharpening my ear, right? My sheep know my voice, and a stranger they will not follow. If that is the case, then we have to attune our ears to God's voice. And so to me, that is a discipline. Right, that is something that you have to be working on day by day. And so I think even creating those kinds of moments where people can go, let me get still. I'm not expecting that when I go to a concert. But if someone creates that for me, you know? So
I love it. Listen, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know it's going good. We're going to take a break real quick, and we're going to come back with more from Miss Jessica Larell. I'll make sure I say the name right. But we love y'all. Hold on one second. We're coming back in a minute.
For example, a man could only speak about 1,000 words a day, and a woman can speak about 80 to 100,000 words.
It wasn't. It was not that much. It was not that much. It was not that much.
But the whole lot more. And they just be getting started around half point. And they want you to listen, you know. You ask us, how was your day? It was all right. That's me. We all right. We good. You ask about the day, child. You got to sit down, get you a Coke, drink it, cross your leg, and she gone. Well, you know, when I first woke up this...
Catch Marriage is good on the Viewer Network. Subscribe.
AP Rich, and I'm here again with Miss Jessica, and we are having an amazing conversation. I hope you are liking, subscribing, and commenting right now, because it's going to get even better as we go. All right, listen, I was talking to Miss Jessica, and here's one thing I want to talk about, because a lot of artists, they don't like to share these moments, but you seem to be open and ready to go. Come on, let's talk about it. What is your creativity process when you are going to perform as an artist versus, let's say, producing a tour or producing the Black and Bronze Festival? How are you compartmentalizing those different things and hats that you wear during those moments?
So I think the first thing I'll say is I think it's really important for all of us, regardless of whether or not you see yourself as a creative professional or not, to give ourselves permission to imagine without critique. Imagine without restraint. I think it can be as small as dreaming up your dream house. Or thinking about your ideal birthday party. And the reason why I give these examples is because they're mundane enough, or they're low stakes enough where it doesn't feel like the pressure's on you, but to dream big, really big. And I think that it's important for us to have a habit of doing that, because we can always revise. We can always shrink the idea or get more efficient with how we do the thing. But if we don't practice dreaming boldly, then when it comes time where that's required of us, it feels like we're now expected to lift 350 pounds when we've only given ourselves practice lifting 5.
That's good, Jessica.
Right?
Yes.
So,
yes,
you know, I get that scripture tells us it only requires the faith the size of a mustard seed to move mountains.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're in a place where we're moving a series of mountains in order to get the thing that we want to accomplish, and it will require more of us.
And a mountain after a mountain after a
Exactly.
mountain, no moment to rest. We just
Exactly.
keep going. Yeah, that's good.
Exactly. And so what are those ways that on a day-to-day basis we give ourselves permission to dream freely? And so I have a thing that I do. I have a series of notes.
Okay.
I don't necessarily need to show anybody the fact that these notes exist on my phone, but it's just my dream house. And if I see something somewhere or an idea comes to mind, I'll just add something to that note. I'm not spending the time going, do I have the money to buy this or create this? Or what people would I need to talk to? No, just, I think I would love the idea of having an amphitheater in my backyard. So I'm going to add that to the note. I would love to have a studio in my downstairs basement area with a space where I can just create, and I've got backdrops and lights and all the types of music equipment that I need, right? Like, I'm just giving myself permission to do that. The reason why I say all this, it might seem kind of off topic, but it's because then I'm constantly telling my brain, this is something that you should be doing all the time, right? So then when I want to start to write songs, I usually it's not like I'm sitting down and going, I have to write a song now. What happens is I'm just free-flowing ideas all the time. And I sometimes can't even necessarily predict when that's going to happen. So I have a relationship with my voice memos app. Well, we know we're locked in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm carrying my phone around with me often and being ready to record stuff or recording stuff on a watch or whatever, because I'm a melody maker now. And it's at a point now where improvisational singing is so easy for me to do because I've created a culture where I'm doing that all the time. I'm creating stuff all the time.
Got it.
And I'm not thinking about, what do I need to edit or revise, right? And I think that's part of the challenge. I remember reading something that was talking about the neuroscience behind creating new ideas for musicians. And they were saying that jazz artists and hip hop artists have the easiest time creating on the spot, but part of it is they study and study and study and study, and then they let go. They release. And what it allows you to do is you trust yourself enough. You've developed the ritual or the habit, the routine of doing the thing. And now you trust that what comes out is going to be good.
Ooh.
And I think that there's so much to be said about that, right?
I'm getting like 8 messages right now. Sermon's downloading right now. Goodness. Come on, Jessica, keep talking. Come on. Have a whole month series after this. No, I love it.
But it's one of those things where it really ties back into developing that kind of trust and faith, right? And so when you get to that point, then you can start to create ideas, and you're not casting judgment on yourself while you're doing it, and that's not slowing you down. And so there have been a lot of songs that were the result of me improvising an idea, coming back to that improvised idea on a voice note, setting lyrics to it.
Okay.
And what I would also say about my songwriting process is that I tend to make melodies first. I have a kind of gut instinct feeling when I'm ready to write.
Okay.
It's almost like I can feel in my body, which I think, for a lot of folks, our relationships with our bodies are so disconnected now that we don't even know what's going on. But I can sense when I'm ready to write.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick up my phone. I'll start listening to the voice memos.
Yeah.
And I'm scrolling through, I'm listening to something, and then I'll be able to tell, okay, actually, I'm ready to write for this.
Got it.
And then, and what happens is I'm praying, I'm asking, hey, God, Holy Spirit, show me what it is you want to say. And I promise you, it comes like a rushing wind.
Wow.
And so there are a lot of songs. The last album I had, even though it was released this year, I wrote it 5 years ago. Wow. Yeah. So I wrote it 5 years ago, and in the height of 2020.
Okay.
And to your point, and to your question of like your creativity process, at the time I was living in LA. Everybody asks you all the time, what are you writing next? What are you working on next?
Sure.
Even if you just came out with an album. And it's like, come on. I just put out an album. Are we really asking me that? But I had kind of given up on the idea of albums. I was like, I'm just going to release singles from now on. That's all that people care about.
Okay.
But at the time, someone had shared with me a grant opportunity.
Okay.
And they said, we only want projects that require you to be working on a thing for 2 to 3 years. I said, well, that's not a single.
No, I ain't single at all.
I gotta dig my teeth into something again.
Yeah.
And so I started asking myself, what do I want to spend my time writing about, singing about, performing for the next 2 to 3 years?
Sure.
I knew at the time that I had spent so much time documenting pain. I had been singing a lot about social unrest and injustice, and there is a value and a place for that. But
Absolutely.
I also found myself feeling so heavy after shows.
I was going to ask you, did that weigh a lot on you when
yeah.
you're releasing that? Oh, my
Absolutely, absolutely. And I wasn't just talking about one type of unrest. I was
Yeah.
talking about everything from racial injustice to gender-based violence to all types of things. And so the heaviness I would feel, because I'm not just getting up there and on, some sort of like a robotic level performing. I'm trying to tap into the thing
you're
authentically.
injecting it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So doing that all the time, I said, I want to spend the next 2 to 3 years thinking about joy. I want to spend the next two to 3 years ruminating on that. What does that take? And how to communicate the realities of what it takes to cultivate joy in a way that feels like it's not quote unquote toxic positivity. It's not me going, well, just be happy, be grateful. It's really getting into the weeds of what does it require to be able to access that in spite of. And so, I'm thankful because the grant forced me to do that work. But as soon as I took the time to write, then we went on lockdown. So I wrote the grant, suddenly we're in quarantine, and I remember asking myself, what would you do if you won? If you won the grant, what would you do right now?
I love the positive question you asked right there versus the negative that most people tend to look at. Okay, go ahead, continue. But that was just dope. Just thought I'd throw that nugget in there.
Absolutely.
Hope y'all paying attention to that. Yeah.
Absolutely. There are times when I audition for things or apply for things, and then I ask myself right after, what is it that if you won, you would wish you were doing right now?
Ooh, that's good.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're going to operate in faith, that work doesn't necessarily always mean that we have to wait until we see the thing. We have to act. And it's not a self-induced thing. It's I'm thinking about the strategy and I'm asking God, is this the direction you want me to go? And if not, show me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, in thinking about the grant, I said, I know what I'm supposed to be writing about now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to go write it.
Got it.
And if they give me the money for it, then the money is to record the thing. It's not to then go, okay, I've waited 6 months. Now I'm going to write the album. No, we've written the songs. And when I tell you inspiration was there, it was like song after song after song just came.
Wow.
Just came after. And so I think for me, I was really blessed because all of the songs are written in about 3 months. About 3 months. It was, and we recorded more than we ended up having on the album. So there are about 15 songs, and 12 made it to the album. But all of it was written in about 3 months. And just thinking about the world we were in 2020.
Yeah, it was a crazy world.
Right.
My goodness.
So, I think one thing that I also will say is really different about the creative process that I've been leaning into is just the role of feedback. I think people have different relationships with that. For this album, it was the first time I decided to really lean into getting feedback from other people.
What's the name of this album?
The album's called Three Sisters.
Three Sisters. Okay. All right.
And so it's named after an ancient indigenous gardening technique called Three Sisters, where you plant 3 particular crops beside each other.
Okay.
And so these 3 crops can grow on their own, but when they're planted together, they grow more sustainably and more plentifully.
Oh, come on, somebody.
And so there is this writer named Zadie Smith who talks about joy being this strange mixture of pain, terror, and delight.
And delight.
And so, it's a little different. It's a different take. But I started to think, I'm like, wait, pain, terror, and delight. I think those are the 3 sisters of this album. And so the album kind of weaves together those 3 themes through images and imagery of flowers and green spaces and thinking about gardening, coming back to that technique to really reflect on what does it take to cultivate joy, right? It's not every song is upbeat because we have to acknowledge the pain that then helps us understand the joy or appreciate the joy, right?
Yes.
Where we're acknowledging the things that happen to us that might terrorize our hearts and minds, right?
Yeah.
And how some of the experiences I've been able to see, some of the folks who have experienced so much trauma are able to tap into joy unlike anything else. And so I think that, you know, having this kind of project that allowed me to acknowledge all ends of it, then, you know, I think it gave me an opportunity to then be able to apply the thing in my own life.
Yeah, got you. Makes sense.
You know, so I'll pause there because I know I've talked a lot.
You did great. One thing you're talking about with joy, because we kind of think of a concept of when joy is there, you can have joy because you know something. You can know the outcome and things are going to get better. You believe it's going to get better. But what you're saying right now is that concept seems so elementary. When you're saying, I really want this joy, but do you really want to go through the pain that may have to come for you to get this joy?
Yeah.
Speak to that a little bit. I know you had a long journey, even when it came to your health as well.
Yeah.
And you had to find a way to remain in joy.
Yeah.
Were there moments where you didn't see joy nowhere?
Yeah.
How did you kind of turn that around and kind of get back to your identity and knowing who you are?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as soon as I finished recording the album, I went through the writing, got feedback. I produced it, got feedback.
Yeah.
Mixed it, got feedback. Mastered it, got feedback. Finally reached a point, was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's done. I'm ready. I'm ready, God. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Then my mother died. And if it's not clear, that woman has shaped me. She was my favorite person on the planet. Understood me in a way that, I can't put into words. Losing her, it wasn't just losing my mom, it was losing my person. And that really rocked me. I remember a feeling of people would ask me, how are you doing? Which is just such a complicated thing to ask someone after they've lost a parent. But I remember saying, I just feel like I'm in a completely dark space. I can't see where I am anymore. I don't know if I'm standing on concrete or in a garden. I don't know if the ceiling is right above my head or there's no ceiling at all. I don't know where I am right now because she also gave me a sense of place.
Got it.
And so when she's gone, I don't know where home is. I don't know where I'm supposed to be anymore. And I lived away from my mother from the age of 11. But she gave me that sense of place. And so I think having that kind of radical experience upended my nature. And I feel like there are losses that like mar you or scar you, and then there are losses that chemically alter you.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was it for me.
Got it.
And so between that and then at the time I was singing with Kanye West Sunday Service. And so there were a lot of experiences that were happening and challenges. And I think, as he started to have his descent, then opportunities were also starting to be removed for all of us. Right. Which is its own complicated journey. And so watching that happen, we got to a point where that was put on pause.
Okay.
And so I ended up deciding right after my mother's funeral that I would go on a extended grief road trip. So I was driving around the country by myself in my car. I like to call my car Jackie. Jackie and I were just driving around. So we drove to Mexico. We drove to New Mexico. We drove to...
you were driving?
Yeah, driving. In silence.
Yeah, you weren't going to Indiana.
No. And I was coming from California, so I was driving all over the place. Drove to the Midwest, throughout the South. Got to Chicago, and through a series of very strange events that God orchestrated, he actually sent me 3 sisters, 3 Black women I do not know to this day, who came to me and were like, "You're supposed to move here." And I was like, huh? What?
Yeah.
Back home?
Yeah.
No.
No.
But, having the transition of coming back home, now that my mom's not here anymore.
Oh, that's another thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah. And then I went through several really difficult relationship changes.
Okay. Okay.
And then in the midst of that, I was like, okay, I feel ready. I'm gonna release the album.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just endure. I'm gonna
Come
do
on.
it.
You can do it.
And then 2 weeks before the first single came out, I found out that I had cancer growing on my vocal folds.
Jessica. What? Come on. This journey. Okay.
Yeah, the wild ride.
Yeah.
So I at the time it was, this might be. We found out later that it was. But essentially it turned into what became a really long journey of being nonverbal. Okay. So the threat was, it wasn't just about you might not be able to sing anymore. It was, you might not be able to speak anymore.
Your voice.
Yeah. And so I'm having to work through, who am I when I don't have this tool that has made me legible in the world? Who am I when I don't have this skill that has given me access to things in the world?
Yeah.
Who am I when I don't have this thing that helps me to express who I am, what I'm going through, all of those things? Am I valuable anymore? To be honest.
Yeah.
Because we don't even think about how sometimes our skills or our gifts are a kind of currency. But when I even think about my relationships, I'm like, how many people are around me because I can do this, because of the doors it's open for me, right? Yeah. So God and I, we got really locked in. We got really locked in, especially because when you can't talk, you feel trapped inside yourself, right? And so I'm wrestling for because I went through some pre-op experiences where they had me on vocal rest, and then after the surgery I could not talk at all, and so it was about a 6-month journey of dealing with not being able to communicate the way I'm accustomed to. And so throughout all that time, I'm having to find new ways of worship. Because even just thinking about how do you typically talk to God? A lot of the times, yes, I'm praying, but I'm singing. I'm singing my heart out. Yeah. And I remember having to go on walks and crying while I'm walking because I'm like, I can't even sing to worship you right now. How do I move through this thing and just even maintain the relationship we have? And how am I supposed to go through this and not feel some degree of resentment towards you, God?
That's real. That's a real conversation.
You're taking the thing you gave me away. But I think part of what it did was it helped separate my sense of worth from the gifts. It helped me separate my sense of identity from the access and the opportunities and the people and the relationships. All of that got removed. And it's like, who are you when you don't have any of the things? And suddenly I was like, wow, how much more can I love myself when I really start to mirror the love God has for me? God doesn't care whether I have the gift or not. God gave me that gift out of the kindness of his own heart. But he's not, his care for me is not dependent on that.
Oh.
So why should mine be? Why should my identity be wrapped in this thing that I can do?
You helping us out today, Jessica. You helping us out. I'm telling you, you are.
You know? And so I think for me, even though I wouldn't wish that journey on anybody, wouldn't wish it on myself. And even when I think about the experiences, sometimes I go, I understand why you didn't tell me. Because if you told me, I would have been like,
I ain't doing
no
that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No thanks. I don't want it. I don't want
Let this cup
it. You know,
pass.
right.
Real.
Truly, let it pass. And I had friends who would say things like, it just feels like every time I call to check in, there's another bad thing happening to you. And go ahead.
I was going to say, even just hearing that from your friends to tell you that, that can be another layer that plays on your mental as well. Like, is it really that bad? Am I really? Yeah, but go ahead, finish it.
But in your heart, you feel it too.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it wasn't like they were saying something that didn't feel honest. And they weren't saying it in a way to say, and it's bringing me down. They're just like, God, give her a break. Take her off the strongest warriors list, please. You know, Get her out of there.
Strong, but my God.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
But
I got you.
I think about how every experience, it's not just working together for my good. It's developing all of these things inside of me, right? When I think about, it's funny, Black and Bronze, it feels like the culmination of every experience God has brought me to artistically. Every tour experience, every live recording, every musical production, every album, all of those skills were then wrapped up into this moment. I had to pull on everything. With this album, every personal experience felt like it was being drawn upon. I can't speak to pain and terror and delight without having experienced true pain and true terror. I cannot say to folks, this is how you tap into joy without having understood what it means to choose it. To choose it in spite of. So.
Woo, listen, guys, we gonna take another little break right here because she said some heavy stuff in this interview. My God, today I'm trying not to jump and run and throw this entire chair around this room. You hear me? But it's so many good things in this. And what I'm hearing, another thing is embracing your journey. It's your journey, all right? We believe it's gonna get better on the other side, but go through the journey, man. You may have to go in there trembling, crying, tears, kicking, screaming, but I believe there's something greater on the other side. I know it might be hard for you to hear that right now, but I'm going to keep getting encouragement to you. You hear what Jessica said. She made it to the other side. Sometimes you got to go through that journey, all right? Listen, we'll be back in a second. Check out this commercial break. We got to pay some bills. All right, peace. Hey, what's going on, food lovers? Let's talk about this one thing, a Chicago classic with a twist. You know the Italian beef sandwich, right? It's a staple, but wait until you hear about this game-changing combo. And this is something that I enjoy. Picture this, that juicy Italian beef under and nestled with a buttery croissant roll instead of a regular roll. You know I'm talking about, the French roll. Now add some gooey mozzarella cheese with that, with some spicy hot peppers, and it's like a flavor explosion all up in your heart. Where can you find this great sandwich at? It's at Portillo's, baby. They're serving it up all day, every day, with a beautiful delight that'll make your taste buds do that happy dance. Trust me, you'll enjoy it. Go out there and experience it only in Portillo's in Chicago. All right, I'll talk to y'all. Peace.
Food views, sharing recipes, and more on Viewing Network. Let's eat.
All right, man. Welcome back, guys. It's AP Rich, and I'm here with Miss Jessica Larrell. Yeah, she is here, and we are having a good time. Yes, we are. One thing I want to talk about, because I know we are in the Bronzeville community, and I'm on a journey as an assistant pastor to be a pastor in this great Bronzeville community. Woo! I know y'all making noise. It's all great. And so one thing I'm learning is I got tapped in with Pastor from Bright Star.
Pastor Harris.
And so I got a chance to meet with him and the CPS superintendent, Dr. Harris, Dr. King, that's doing a great job, great work. And that's something they wanted to push in this community of Bronzeville, really the CPS experience for our students. Here's one thing I want to ask for you. Bronzeville has been kind of being built up lately. You see things changing, see different people are coming in here now. Businesses are being built up. What are some of the ways you can see that we can make impact as those being creators to kind of help and influence the community that we live in, for the Bronzeville that we're a part of?
Absolutely. I think particularly for creators, my encouragement would be to tap back into the legacy of what Bronzeville has been, right? So in the golden age of arts and culture for Bronzeville, Bronzeville was the Harlem of the Midwest. It was the place where so many musical pioneers, visual arts pioneers, poetry pioneers, dance pioneers were coming to make new art, make groundbreaking art, but also get elevated to another level in their careers. And so everyone from Louis Armstrong to Herbie Hancock, Nat King Cole, Sam Cooke, right? So many people, Gwendolyn Brooks, right? So many powerhouses were here doing great work, and the venues were instrumental in that. And so my my word of encouragement to creators would be to make those spaces.
Yeah.
Sometimes it means like thinking specifically about retaining space or owning space.
Yeah.
And there are folks who are doing incredible work around that, trying to make sure that those of us who have been here
Yeah.
own, you know.
That's real.
But also sometimes when we think about creating experiences for more creativity,
Yeah.
we think of going to a venue that's somewhere else in the city.
That's true.
And so we might be creators who are from a Bronzeville or living in a Bronzeville, but we then go create community on the north side or on the west side or somewhere else. And so the encouragement is when you think about making experiences, creating moments,
Sure.
displaying your art, engaging other artists, find ways to do it in Bronzeville.
Love it. That is beautiful, man. Y'all see, we about Bronzeville around here. Shoot, we not
Absolutely.
playing. We helping the community out. Here's something that I want to talk with you about. This ain't on my notes or nothing like this. I'm not going to have an open conversation with you because I feel good. We have another show called Chat PKT on this network.
Okay.
It's all about preachers' kids talking. We get into
Oh,
it,
yeah.
okay? It's a great one, right? So here's one thing that came up, and I want to just share it with you because you are a great, phenomenal artist, and you are a singer, and you said that you sing in church, and you may sing praise and worship to God, but you may find yourself singing at a nightclub for love songs. Now, there's people out here, to the creator, to the praise and worship leader, to the pastor's daughter, to the pastor's son, who feels like they cannot do that because the wrong people are looking at them, they're going to say the wrong things to them. What is your encouragement, or how did you find security and safety in knowing I can do praise and worship, I can still go sing about love over here, I can do all these productions and different things, I don't have to stay bound up by the four walls of the church? How did you express yourself, and how did you kind of overcome that?
Christ wasn't spending all of his time in the four walls of the church, so why would I? I'm not saying that to have a gospel music focused career is a bad thing. I'm not saying that. I want to be abundantly clear.
Sure.
What I am saying though is Christ spent a lot of time talking to people outside of the religious space. And that work has to do with modeling our lives to mirror what Christ was after in those spaces, right? Some of that requires a discipline that maybe not everyone feels like they have. But I also believe when you start to surround yourself with other people who can hold you accountable, you go into those spaces with a plan. If you feel like I'm not sure how I'll show up in those spaces, go with somebody else who you know knows who you are and how you ought to be in those spaces.
That's good.
Right? And start to develop the skill of being there and staying true to who you are. If you know deep down, that's not really the issue. The issue is the perception of other people. You got to get over that. You can't control what everybody else thinks about you.
You cannot.
And ultimately, if God's calling you to certain spaces to be the light, to be the salt, then you're now allowing the perceptions of others to get in the way of your purpose. And so I think some of it is about recognizing where is God calling you to, letting ego or concerns of that are fueled in insecurity or the perceptions of other people, cast that stuff aside. Right. And so and then setting up systems of accountability so that you can flourish in those places in the way that you're supposed to.
That's good. I love it. I love it. I'm just wrapping, throwing some fire questions at her real quick. What's your favorite color?
Favorite color? Purple, actually.
Purple's my favorite color too. People don't know my favorite color. Are you a sports person? You like sports?
I fake like I like sports.
You fake it? Oh my goodness. All right. I was gonna ask you what's your favorite sport, but I guess we'll leave that alone. What's your other hobby you like besides singing?
I love being outside, hiking. I love being in nature. I just feel really tapped into God's creativity. Like when I lived in LA, I used to hike actually every morning. I would walk over to this like
big in LA.
It's huge. It's huge in California across the board. So but there's so many there's a lot of mountainous terrain. So you have so much opportunity there.
Okay, I got that.
That's my
All right, cool. Well, listen, let us know where we can find you at on your social medias. How can we tap in? We want to get this album with the three sisters. We want to know what's going on. We want to know in the world of Jessica. We want to stay attached to you. So please let us know where we can find you.
Okay, so folks, I am on all social media at Jessica Larel. That's JESSICA LAREL. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the good stuff, YouTube. And my album is called Three Sisters. It's available on all major music platforms, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Tidal, you name it. Wherever you listen to music, you'll find it there. I have other albums that are out as well, so you can take a listen to those things. And on YouTube, I've got a variety of visuals. There are visuals to every song on the album. So go check it out. Again, Jessica Larel on all major platforms.
Ooh, y'all got it, Jessica Larel. Y'all go ahead and flood her out. You know what I'm saying? Flood her up, whichever way you want to say it. Go ahead and support her. That's what we want to say, okay? Support her. But hey, I'm AP Rich. This has been The Viewpoint. Like I always say, life is choice driven. You'll live and die by the choices you choose to make. But I got a hint for you. Choose life. All right? Till the next time. I'll see y'all. Peace. Hey, if you like this video, YouTube says you'll like these as well. Check them out.